The Basement Dwellers podcast is brought to you by Player One Coffee.
At Player One Coffee, we're obsessed with gaming, coffee, and, well, gaming. Every one of our signature roasts is handcrafted and tasty as Get yours at playeronecoffee.com.
Plus, order your Player One Coffee through our affiliate link, and not only will you receive 5% off of your first order, you'll also help support our show in the process.
Press start to continue.
They are those who live in the shadows, who feed upon Doritos and Mountain Dew. They take comfort in their dark habitats as they watch reruns of sci-fi shows long past. They are the Basement Dwellers.
Show me what you got.
So say we all. So say we all. So say we all.
Indeed. Yes. This is a fertile land and we will thrive. We will rule over all this land and we will call it this land.
Make it so.
Join me. Together, we can rule the galaxy far from sun. I want to believe.
We better get back, because it'll be dark soon, and they mostly come at night. Mostly.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Season 2, Episode 5 of The Basement Dwellers, a bi-weekly podcast dedicated to all activities most enjoyed by those who spend their time in the deepest, darkest, and dankest of basements everywhere. I'm your host, Wes Tanner, and tonight we're going to do the show a little bit differently. First off, we're skipping nerdy news as there's a ton of it floating around with E3 going on, so we're going to go ahead and hold off until next show so we can let everything sink in before we jump at it and get all judgy. Secondly, I'll be taking a backseat for the majority of this episode as Lauren has a pretty interesting and important topic for us to chew on. I'm joined as always by my fellow basement dwellers, Nick, Drew, Tracy, JJ, and Lauren. What's up, guys?
Hello.
Hello.
What's up? Hi.
So first things first, it's Tracy's birthday today, Tuesday, June 12th. I mean, the episode's not going to be out till Saturday, so I'm going to specify that. So yeah, happy
birthday.
Yeah, and she's spending it with us tonight. So here we are.
God, we're partying. Thank you, guys.
No problem. Did you have fun last weekend celebrating?
I did. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah. You guys went to a brewery, didn't you?
Yeah, the Nuevo Brewery. I'm not sure exactly what it's called, but it's a brewery in Nuevo. It was really good. The food was really good. The drinks were really good. Yeah.
Good deal. So what's everyone been up to in the week? Well, actually, you know what? I think it was just me and JJ that carried over from last week. So how's everybody? How's everybody been doing the past couple weeks?
Good.
Busy. Hell yeah, man! Always busy. Always busy.
I got to be the Ronager last week.
Did you say the Ronager?
Yeah.
All right, explain.
So Ron is my manager at work, but he was gone, like stranded at a NASCAR thing.
Oh yeah.
Sounds cool, but is not. Well, actually, he had fun, Canadian or something. Anyway, so I got to play manager. So yeah, it's the Ronager.
That's funny.
Nice.
Oh.
Filled all the shoes.
Did you smoke lots of cigarettes and pass out?
I did. I didn't pass out, but
He does that. He's old and tired all the time.
Yeah.
I smoked 2 cigarettes every time I took a break. He told me he smokes at least. So I was like, all right, I got to do that. And then, like, I just stood around a couple You just watch
Did you smoke them at the same time though?
No, not
Like
a champ.
Like a champ.
yeah, and I mean, I talked to the customers for a really long time as well, which I do even when I'm not the manager. But we both are really chatty with.
Good deal. Speaking of managers, Drew, I don't know if you wanted this to be announced, but Drew actually got a supervisor's position somewhat at where we work. So yeah.
Somewhat supervisor.
He's like
That's somewhat surprising.
He's like the boss. He's like the boss of like one whole guy. Actually, no, you got a couple more.
I got 3 whole guys.
3 whole guys.
I said you're a somewhat supervisor.
Yeah.
Not that it's somewhat surprising.
I heard somewhat surprising, and I was like, wow, that's hurtful. We're all just super like nice to you about being Ron Jr. And we're like, something good happened to Drew. Fuck Drew.
You know what? Usually you're being asshole. You're asshole shoes. You went camping and wore asshole shoes. Tell everybody.
I did. I did wear asshole shoes, and I hated every minute of it.
Okay,
like,
what's
you wear Crocs?
No, he wore flip-flops. He's being.
Flip-flops. Oh. I fucking hate. I hate flip-flops.
I can understand Crocs, but flip-flops.
What an asshole!
Because, exactly, because you wear them and all you hear is flip, 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 flip. It drives me fucking bonkers. I'm walking to take a piss at 2 a.m. and all I can hear is flip, 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 flip. And I'm walking, I'm like, everyone's staring at me and they're like, look at that fucking asshole wearing his stupid ass shoes, making all this noise at 2 a.m.
Wes is so triggered right now.
Sneaking into the woods.
I know Wes got really pissed at me. He's like, I fucking love flip flops.
I didn't get pissed. I was just kind of like
take a piss outside with flip flops on.
Oh no!
Personally attacked.
Yeah, I love flip flop. I like wear flip flops.
There were too many people just to like open the flap of my tent and piss right out of it, or else I would have.
Just kept the bottle in there.
I had Tori in the tent, and I'm pretty sure she would have broken up with me if I did that.
Not if she was sleeping.
Yeah, well, maybe I'm a messy peer when I'm drunk, so.
Oh yeah. Sorry, Tori.
Man.
Gotta do what you gotta do.
All right. Well, JJ, since you are here tonight, you're packing for something. Are you going on vacation, or is this a work thing, or what?
No. I'm going to Vegas for 5 days.
Shit.
Yeah, should be a good time.
Do you go often, or every once in a while?
I mean, not like super often. This will be my 4th time going.
Wait, did you say for fuck it?
I love it out there. No, not very often. Just for fun.
Oh, I thought you
just
said
goes to Vegas for fucking.
I mean,
just remember that venereal diseases don't stay in Vegas like everything else. They come home with you.
I like to try to collect all those little cards that they give you out on the street out there. If any of you have ever been out there,
I haven't.
You know what I'm talking about.
But I know what you're talking about.
Collecting venereal disease.
No, so they have people who work the streets with like stacks of their little cards with names and numbers on them and stuff, like pictures, and they hand them out. And you can't do anything because they're going to force them into your hand. It's like you run away from them, they're going to chase your ass down. But so you just pick them up and like, all right, I'm gonna collect the whole set.
Collect them all.
Souvenir book of legal prostitutes in Vegas. Like an album we can flip through.
Oh, do I have one? No. I they're. You know what? I'm not even gonna go there.
Oh no! You have to go there.
I can't help it if they're stuck together.
Oh man!
I went there, and now you're sorry.
He's talking about masturbation.
Okay, and with that, we're gonna go ahead and take a commercial break. Actually, since we're not going to nerdy news, when we come back, we're going to jump right into our main topic. So we'll be back in a minute. Hey nerds, Wes here. Just wanted to give a quick rundown of some new things we've done for this season that you should definitely check out. First off, make sure to take a look at our newly redesigned website at www.tbdpod.com. And if you're already there, then great. Take a look at the show info where you'll find, you guessed it, info about the show. Things like episode archives, crew bios, how to join our Discord server, as well as ways you can subscribe to the podcast. Next, let me direct your attention to the Support the Show link where you can find some ideas on how you can help us keep the lights on. Help us out by buying some kick-ass coffee from Player One Coffee. Buy something from Amazon using our affiliate links, or hell, just treat yourself and us by becoming a TBD patron via our newly launched Patreon page. And as always, thanks for listening. Now, back to the show. And we're back, and we are going to dive right into our main discussion topic. I'm going to turn it over to Lauren for the rest of the night, and we're just going to have a conversation about, what are we talking about, Lauren?
We're talking about girls that just want to have fun.
Okay, that's awesome.
Wait, isn't that what we left off on?
I guess so. This is a different
No,
kind.
we talked about JJ having fun.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, with girls.
Well, let's not.
Is that what he calls his hand? Just girls?
Judy Palmer and the Five Sisters.
Plural.
Okay.
He likes getting down with Miss Michigan.
It's so hot.
And now we're going to talk about sexism in the gaming industry. So, so good transition to that, guys. All right, Lauren, take it away.
Okay, well, first off, I just want to say that everyone that is not here, again, I gave the warning, you're all misogynists if you're not here. Secondly,
good thing I showed up.
I know, I'm so glad you're all here. Except
Isn't
for
one of those
Tucci.
people your bosses?
Oh, shit.
He was supposed to be here.
I'm the Ronager now, I told you.
Oh.
Yeah.
And Tucci is also, he's not included in that because I love him.
Aw.
Aww.
We missed Tucci. We haven't.
I know, I really miss him.
He hasn't been on the show in a long time. But anyway, go ahead. What are we talking about first here?
So the first thing we're going to talk about, it's going to be something really easy in life because then we're going to dive into some deeper things, basically, about the community and kind of some maybe unequal or different treatment of the ladies. But let's start off with the easy question. Like, I just want to know everybody's favorite female video game character.
Oh, fuck.
Because there's not that many of them.
What?
There's a lot.
Well, there's a lot. Is there more men or is there more women?
That really depends.
Well, if we're going to get into that, I think it's changing, but I think...
Well, we will get into that.
Okay.
Holy crap, there's a lot of female characters.
Damn it.
Yeah.
I was thinking about this the other day.
This is hard because
I should have posted this question to you guys.
Maybe.
So
Well, it's okay. Shit.
Like, I play sports games, so there are no female characters unless you create them.
Fuck.
Dang, no one has any.
No, I know.
Okay, well, I like, she's more of a side character, but like Cortana in Halo.
Cortana's a really good character.
That's the first one that really popped into my head as a female video character. You don't really play her, but she's there.
She's there?
Yeah, but she does like everything for you.
What is that? Why you like her? Because she does everything for you.
Jesus.
God damn! Why did I even show up to this shit? Everyone's being quiet. So what do? I throw out a female game character, and now Drew is gonna get crucified.
You know what? I can give you one. And this actually is kind of apropos for something that got announced at E3 this year. So there is, I don't know if any of you guys have ever heard of the Tales series.
Oh, yes.
There is Tales of Vesperia, the remaster just got announced.
Really?
So good.
It's not. I shouldn't say remaster. It's probably an upscaling a little bit, but it's actually the PS3 version, which was only released in Japan. And it's been years since I've played it, but I know I remember the girl from it. Her name, it starts with an E. Hang on one second.
All right, I have mine.
Everyone's afraid to talk.
No, no, I'm not.
because
I got it. Okay. Here, yeah. Okay, so I remember everything about her. I just couldn't remember her name or something. I knew it was something weird that started with an E. It's S02E05.
Oh yeah.
That's how you actually say it. But she like starts out as this like super timid princess, basically, who like has not much that she knows about the outside world and everything. And I know this has been done quite a few times, but I think the way that this game did it was really, really well done. She actually like grows so much throughout the game. And not only is she, great to use as a character in battle and stuff like that, but just her character arc as a whole. And I obviously don't want to spoil anything, but if you've never played a Tales game, that's a great one to start with. And she's one of my favorite characters, hands down. Not even necessarily just because she's female. I really like when games are able to show progression and growth, maturity in a character, and she shows a lot, because by the end of the game, she's able to stand on her own 2 feet, and she goes from wanting to basically like have everybody help her out to being the one that wants to take charge and help everyone else. I just thought that was a really cool transition.
Nice.
That is cool. Yeah.
I really like. Sorry if I'm interrupting once.
No, go ahead. You just better not pick my girl.
I was gonna say, well, there's a couple from Final Fantasy series.
Yep.
And I really like Lightning from, I think it's 13.
13. Yep.
Yep.
Lightning from the first two, 13.1 and 13.2 is really good. And then I really like in the second Final Fantasy 10.2 how they have it's an all female cast, but it's reoccurring characters from Final Fantasy 10.
Yeah.
Yuna and
Riku.
Yeah.
Pain.
Yep. So I really like those characters a lot. But I was talking to you about it the other day. If you guys have played Nier Automata, 2B is an outstanding character. Yeah.
Good deal.
Those are my choices.
Yep. Well, mine. It may sound typical, but Lara Croft. I was trying to think of I had been thinking about this a while, and I'm going to kick myself if I remember it later, but there was another one that I picked besides Lara Croft that I thought would be a little more non-obvious, but
I was going to say, why do you like her?
Oh, why do I like Lara Croft? Well, she has right from the get-go been a badass, and especially in the newer games that have come out, she has had they kind of took her back to before she was a badass, but she still is a badass. I don't know how to describe it, but she's a little more of you're playing a little more of a survival game in the newer series, and I don't want to say that there's not really a whole lot of character development when it comes to Lara Croft, except just like her abilities, and that was one game like as a male gamer that you could go into and not feel, I don't know, like you could still kind of identify with the action part of it, like, you know what I mean?
Especially the newer ones, yeah.
Yeah, and it was just kind of like, not that you have to identify with the main character, but it helps. But yeah, Lara Croft, that's my choice.
I figured somebody was probably gonna pick her.
Yeah, because I know it's pretty generic, but
Drew, I have a question for you.
Yes.
Because I know that you enjoy the video game series as much as I do, but Uncharted.
I was just looking up Elena.
I was gonna say Elena or Chloe. Which one did you like better?
I liked Elena better.
Me too. But I'm glad
Elena.
you picked Chloe because she's horrible.
I hate Chloe. She's a backstabbing bitch.
Yeah, she is.
I was just looking her up because I was like, I thought of another one that is not going to be sexist because she does everything for you. You take it wrong. But no, I was just looking that one up.
Yeah, I like that. She's one of my favorites, and then I would say Aloy from Horizon.
Nice.
Ooh, that's a really
Badass
good
too.
one.
Yep.
Yeah, she's great.
See, I would have said that too, but I haven't played enough of that game to
Oh, that
really
game is fantastic.
really get the full. I don't know what you call it, like
I
the
love
full
her
idea.
story in general. Yeah.
Yeah.
She's great.
I'm
good
I'm
story.
kind of surprised nobody said like Samus from like Metroid.
I was also going to say Ares from Final Fantasy VII, but
Tracy, what about you?
I can't remember her name, but the little girl from BioShock, which I don't think she was actually like a character. She was more of like a side thing.
She kind of drove the story a little bit, right?
Yeah, but she was like creepy as hell, and I don't think they meant to make her creepy, but she kind of was. And I
That's
can never
most
remember
children.
her. Alice from McGee's Alice in Wonderland.
Oh man.
Yeah, and I cannot remember her name from Resident Evil.
Jill Valentine.
Oh shit! Yeah, I was really good with her.
Yep, that was a good one.
And I do have to say, I do like the new Lara Croft versus the old Lara Croft, because she's like, it's not all about her like boobs and her like running around in booty shorts. Because who in the hell would do that in the jungle? I'm sorry.
Exactly. Her boobs have gotten smaller, probably from all the adventuring. But
right.
Also, they probably were killing her back. Like,
yeah.
But I mean,
Also-
that woman goes, "Oh, I'm going to go out in the jungle where there's things that are poisonous and things that can tear my flesh off, and I'm going to do it in booty shorts." No.
Mobility.
Also, I think she's like one of the few gaming characters that's had like 2 movies made out after her.
Yeah.
Or
3 now.
3, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I wonder why.
Because she's a badass.
Yeah.
Because she's a badass and she's was the main, I want to say sexy icon of
Yeah.
the video game world.
You're right. I remember during like the Tomb Raider 2 days, like on PC and stuff like that, there being like mods to get her naked.
Oh my god! I remember that.
the cheat code that you would put in that I think it was on the PlayStation, where you would put the code in where it was supposed to make it a nude model.
Yeah.
And it wouldn't do that. It would just blow the character up and end your game.
You sick fuck.
Basically, they did. They're like, you nasty bastard.
Yeah.
Who wants to see a nude PlayStation 1 character?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
those polygons are so sexy.
I am getting excited just thinking about it.
Have any of you guys ever played any of the games in the Suikoden series?
The
what now?
Suikoden.
I have no.
Suikoden. It's very I don't want to say niche, but it's not as well known as I think it should be.
It's a tactics game, isn't it? Like Final Fantasy Tactics, kind of.
No. It's just a regular RPG. You can recruit 108 different characters.
Oh, okay, that's what
you build your own town and whatnot. There's 5 of them. Yeah. Okay. So in the third one, there is actually, and this is who I was originally trying to think of, my absolute favorite female character, and it's because they don't even treat her as a female. They treat her as a captain. She's the captain of the guards. Her name's Chris Lightfellow. If you look her up and you just look at some pictures of her, you can see she's not sexualized at all. She is literally just dressed as a captain of a squad of guards would look in this universe. And that's, I think, one of the best things I love about the Suikoden series is it basically takes the concept of gender in general and makes it completely irrelevant. You're playing it and she's one of the main characters. You're never thinking this is a woman doing these things. You're thinking this is a person doing these things, if that makes sense. It's really, really well done.
I think that's why I liked Lightning so much, because she's, again, goes back to that not over-sexualized, and she's more like the leader of this. She reminded me a lot of Cloud.
Yeah.
And that she's the leader of this group versus some second, a party member.
Yeah.
Who's their actual captains and leaders.
She was modeled after Cloud, actually. Funny enough.
Yeah.
I like that they, when they do characters like that aren't super sexualized. I mean, a lot of these characters, they draw in like these skimpy little outfits and corsets and things like that, and it's like nobody's gonna fight in a war in a corset. I'm sorry, it's not gonna happen.
Yeah.
And I like it that it's more realistic that way.
Yeah, like this Chris Layfellow, I looked like, she's in her sensible armor and
yeah, because I'm sorry, I wore a corset before. You can't move like that in a corset. It's just not gonna happen.
Well, outside of video games, I think one of my favorite recent female characters that kind of embodies what you guys were talking about, which is why I'm bringing it up. But Brienne of Tarth in in Game of Thrones, like, good lord, what an awesome character! Like, because in
Force Awakens too.
Well, because in that setting, she is completely, like, kind of ostracized for not only how tall she is, but the fact that she's kind of this, like, quote unquote, like, manly woman, but like, but you know what I mean? Like, she still holds on to what what makes her, she's still feminine in a little bit, but she's complete warrior badass, and it's just like the way that I've never read the books, so I don't know, I can't compare it to that, but the way she's portrayed in the show and the actress that they got to play her is like that has, like, I don't know, I think that's the kind of writing that I like to see, and that kind of character and whatnot. So
well, yeah, and she still has that caring sense, that kind of almost motherly, caring, nurturing that all women have.
Yeah.
They didn't take that out.
Yeah.
And another good character on Game of Thrones is Arya Stark, because she's like, screw gender roles. I'm going to do what I want. This is what I want, and I don't care. And she's another one of my other favorite characters on that show. Definitely.
I don't want to get things off track, Lauren, if you wanted to stick to video games, but...
Oh, no. I was just going to go back and say that I guess I'll change again and be like, my favorite female character in a video game was myself when I played The Sims, because because I was rosebudding, I was rich as fuck, and then, like,
I'm gonna go back and change my first one too.
Oh, yeah?
Have you guys played? You've all played Battlefront 2.
Yeah.
I mean, you start. You the main character is badass, like, general female captain.
Oh,
warrior.
Yeah.
And, like, but you're a bad guy, and she's a fucking badass.
What's her name in that? I know.
I can't remember. Hold on.
I don't remember, honestly, but
I don't remember, but she's a badass, and you start off as a bad guy, and I like that character.
Yeah.
All throughout the entire game, I was like, yeah.
The story in Battlefront 2 was actually my favorite part of that game.
Yeah. Versio.
What's that?
Versio. Yeah.
I did Versio.
Oh, yeah. There we go. Yeah.
She's a badass.
Oh, yeah. Definitely.
Yeah, I don't know how to segue from this to
that's all right.
to the more serious topic.
Next question. There we go.
Question number 2.
There we go.
Don't hate the player.
No. All right.
That's pretty great.
All right.
It was good. I liked it. All right. So now, because it's good that there's more of you that are dudes, though, as well in here, and, like, I'm glad that Tracy's here, because I didn't want to do the show being, like, the only female, but I want to ask you dudes for your guys' like male perceptions on females, like, within the community, like
the gaming community or nerdy community in
just
general,
in the nerdy community in general. So whether it comes to, if you're playing like a card game or any tabletop or video games, like online, if you see like somebody that does not have a gender neutral name and they're obviously female, like, are you like, oh shit, they probably suck? I don't know.
Oh, well, I'll start.
So negative
I'll start
or
it
positive,
off.
like, and I feel like everyone, your perceptions have probably changed a lot since you were younger, and I would like to hear about that too.
Well, okay, I'll start this off. When I was younger, I was absolutely terrified of talking to girls, so I would never have been as bold as a lot of people are on the internet these days. But my perceptions of girls or females, however, whatever you want to refer to them as, in our I don't know what
whatever you want to refer to them as.
I don't know what term we're going with.
Let them pick their own pronoun, right?
Exactly. Yeah, I'm trying to. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'm trying to be too politically.
Let's just call them cunts all day.
I'm really glad you said that.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
All right. So we have your permission.
Dude, cunt is good because it's like a word for a vagina. Vaginas are strong muscles.
TBD after dark, right?
Yeah. Okay. So.
Yeah. Okay. I don't know.
We'll just go with like
talk about the
gamer bitches, I guess. I'll just go with that.
Oh God!
No. Oh, that one crossed the line.
You said it.
All right. Never mind.
Change bodies.
Yeah. No. I'll go back to the females. We'll just call them the females. Or no. Sorry, because that will offend somebody because it has the word male in it, right? Let's just call them.
Oh my gosh. Ladies.
Thank you. Whatever. Ladies. The nerdy gals. There we go.
Yeah.
So my perception of them being in the community is I'm very thankful for it. I'm very happy that they're there. I think a lot, and maybe I'll speak for a lot of guys here, but I think the biggest thing for guys who aren't pieces of shit, but I think the biggest adjustment has been the fact that growing up we were not used to seeing girls be interested in the same things that we are. You know what I mean? And I think that's where the biggest adjustment is. And we have also talked about it on the show before about how there's kind of a tendency when you have these very niche groups, like the nerdy culture, and especially specific aspects of it, to where any encroaching new people are kind of seen as like they might take it away from you, or they might turn it into something different. And I mean, your experiences are probably tell a different story, but from my observations and my perceptions is that we are coming out of that phase where it's weird for girls to like that stuff. I think it still surprises a lot of guys. Like, they're kind of like, I mean, I don't know. I get that way when I hear anybody who is into the same stuff that I'm into. I really don't separate it between guys and girls, but there is a little bit different factor just because traditionally speaking, they don't really like a lot of the things that boys do. So that's kind of where I think maybe some of the conflict has started. It's just kind of like it's unfamiliar to us and we don't know how to react to it. Maybe I'm not that way anymore. I the more the better in my case, but yeah, I guess that's what I'll start off with by saying. I'll let somebody else take over from there. Was it that good of a speech?
Can you say the question one more time?
I'm just thinking, thank you.
They're like, Wes completely took it over, and now we have no idea what to call it. Yeah.
No, the question, I mean, I guess it's just like more so like insight. Like, I want to know about like your perception as a male on females in the community. So like based on from when you were young to now, like I feel like, I mean, and I forgot to plug this when I first started the segment, but so I wrote a blog post that's going to be on the website, tpdpod.com.
Yes.
And it will, I don't know. I think we're planning on dropping it the same day or when the episode is up.
Yeah.
But, and I wrote a lot about like this and there, about like my experience from like youth to getting older, and then like I don't know, it's kind of like 3 different stages of like how things were changed, you know, and like how I was treated. But yeah, so I don't know, just your perceptions on things. But yeah, so I guess read the blog to hear about my shit.
And that's going to be an ongoing project too, isn't it? that basically whenever the mood strikes for any of us, we're going to post stuff. But I guess Lauren is going to lead the way, but we are going to start doing that. So just a little more content and a little more discussion starters that we can post on our Facebook page and whatnot. And we'll probably build some episodes off of what we write about. So look forward to that. That'll probably drop the same day as this episode. So back to the question. Sorry to derail that if I did, but
I derailed it.
No, it's all right. What do the rest of you guys think?
So growing up, actually, like, I was kind of oblivious to it, like there being any females in the nerd community in general. And then, like, once I became an adult or in my early teens, I figured it out. I was like, oh, that's awesome. And it's like fresh perspective on everything and anything I already love. And so I think that's great. Like, putting our heads together and being one as a community is just the best feeling ever. Except for when you have pieces of shit like what's-her-face running the Star Wars franchise right into the ground.
Wait, what?
Something Kennedy, I can't think of her first name, but...
Kathleen,
yeah, fuck her.
I don't know the story there.
She was the one who... Did she direct or produce the second...
She produced it, I'm pretty sure.
Made episodes.
She definitely directed.
Not Force Awakens, but Last Jedi, yeah.
Jedi, okay, yeah.
She can suck it.
Well...
That's so woke.
But that has nothing to do with her being a woman.
Yeah. Right. We would say that, especially if she was a man.
Exactly.
Just in Lauren's words, she's just a cunt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Her words, not
And I feel like also, like, I just need to give a disclaimer that, you know, I'm going to ask questions that are, like, I don't know. I feel like kind of sound like it's like, all right, let's bash how much of assholes are. But I just want to say that it's none of you guys. You guys are all awesome and inviting and accepting. But I'm talking about, you know, those dudes.
Yeah, we know.
You know, we know those kind of dudes I'm talking about.
We know.
I think
It's none of you, except for Drew sometimes. Just kidding.
I think as guy nerds, we have a responsibility to try and curb that behavior with our fellow guy gamers or guy nerds, whatever you... So
I think it's doubly tough for them. I mean, this is obviously coming from me, who I'm big in the gaming community and stuff, and have been my whole life. But I think, like, the way I see it is, you've got your people out there who, you know, and we've talked about this before on the show, where, you know, nerd culture or whatever, where you've got that stigma of, oh my god, he's into Star Wars, he's into video games, he's into sci-fi, whatever. You've got those people who are, you know, the bros out there who are into only sports, and anything beyond that is like crazy and nerds, and I don't want anything to do with it. Mm-hmm. Well, then you've got...
What if they're into sports games only?
I mean,
tread lightly, good sir.
No, I mean, seriously, because there's... I mean, I don't know too much about that community, admittedly. But as far as, like...
sports games because there's no women.
No. Listen, in NHL 18, you can create a female skater and put her on an all-male team, and she's just as good as all the other assholes.
And I mean, I guess there's female cheerleaders in the video games, in the sports games. So.
Oh Christ!
But I think the where it starts to get even rougher on them is, like, those people are already giving the guys that are nerds and into this stuff a hard time, but then obviously they find out a girl's into it, and the first thing they say is, you know, what, you're a girl and you like that stuff? Not only do they have to contend with that, but the guys within the gaming community and, you know, sometimes nerd community and stuff, obviously look at the freaking Star Wars thing with Rose.
Oh yeah, God.
Like,
Jesus, yeah.
they have to take it from both sides, like even people on the inside. And it's not even necessarily that they're all going to be negative, but they've also got to take the harassment. I can give you a perfect example. This is a guy I know. I'm not going to say his name, but like I remember it because I just remember cringing so freaking hard and being like, dude, how fucking obvious can you be? So I used to live in a house with 3 of my buddies, and we had 4 Xboxes and 4 TVs in the basement. It was awesome. My roommate's cousin was over one time. We were all playing Halo online, and there was this girl that was on our team. It was clear she was a girl because she talked into the microphone. Her name was Candy something. It was just point blank obvious. And every single time she would get a kill or do something, he would just go be like, Candy, that was a really good shot. You did really good that round. Oh, you did. I'm really, really happy you're on our team. And I'm like, dude, shut up. Like, do you do this to anybody else when you play? Yeah. No, it's not, like, seriously. So, I mean, they have to take it from everywhere. And you guys, like, man, hats off to you, seriously, because I don't know that I could put up with that shit for so long, over and over and over again, when you're just trying to do something you love to do.
I didn't speak from personal experience. I have firsthand experienced a lot of the negative stigma on that hand. Like, I've had, people would plan like video game parties and shit like that. I would personally not get invited because I was a girl. If I beat somebody in a video game, like they would get so mad and they'd be my girls, and they would throw stuff, break stuff, and it's changed now, and I'm so happy for that.
It's bullshit that you were excluded from that.
Oh yeah, I got it.
I'm sorry.
What do you think has changed that though?
Honestly, I think it's just times, like, in general, people are like growing more aware of, people aren't tolerating the sexist bullshit anymore, and women have started to like stand up for themselves, and I think it's a generational thing too. Kids are getting brought up differently, not to think that way,
Yeah.
But plus, you've got like famous women gamers like Felicia Day, who's got her own like all of that shit, and it's just like she's like, I'm a woman, I do this shit, like, fuck you.
I love Felicia Day. She's awesome.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, I feel like a lot of the things you talked about, like, people have already, like, started talking about other things I was going to bring up later.
Yeah,
but,
I know we're skipping around.
Well, I mean, it doesn't matter. It's going to happen. Like, we're just basically having a big discussion today about, like, that. And then, I've got some, I'll try to steer things into a way that's not just us being like, Wah!
Period rage.
We're just talking about, it's like, all right, do you think females interested in the nerd culture are treated differently, and like how so? I don't know. And like, with JJ's story, I've had similar stuff like that happen to me when I was on, like, when I started playing, like, online on PS3, my gamer tag was just, I didn't want a gamer tag that gave away that I was a female at all. So it was like, how now LB? Like, all right, you don't know what the fuck I am.
Oh, yeah. That too.
Yeah, what? But then the second you, like, get on the mic and people find out you're a girl, I mean...
Everybody wants to join your team.
Yeah, but you either get treated like shit, like, oh, you suck, or you get really weird messages all the time.
ASL?
Yeah.
Oh, God.
I was gonna say, like, I think I sent some to the chat, remember? Like, from...
Oh, yeah.
Then, that guy that just, like, messaged me over and over and over.
See,
and blocked him.
There is one quick note, and I had been thinking about this too. The whole, I mean, obviously, when it comes to shit talking in games, that's not exclusive to female gamers by any means.
No.
I assume obviously they go about it in different ways that definitely cross the line between how they would treat a guy gamer, but
yeah.
Usually they just don't want you on their team if they're jerks, or they just want you on your are on their team so that they can be creepy.
Yeah.
I feel
Or
like.
they coddle you like, oh, you're the one that needs help because you're a girl, which means you can't play the game very well.
Yeah. So yeah, like JJ was saying,
I've had a lot of
it was
that.
congratulating the girl. Like,
Well, okay. Well, let me play devil's advocate here because I don't necessarily think, but I'm just thinking of possible things. I think those guys, like the quote unquote nice guy response of them that you label as coddling, maybe some people, maybe some guys, because let's face it, the nerdy community is not necessarily suave with dealing with the opposite sex. So in general, so I could see that as possibly them trying to kind of be more encouraging and inclusive. Just it falls flat because of how patronizing it sounds.
It comes off like they're trying to put nice coins into a girl so they can get sex in return.
Yeah, and that is one thing. I mean, I wouldn't automatically assume that because it's the internet and who knows how you're gonna hook up, but. Well,
I knew this guy in real life, and I can tell you he was.
Oh yeah. Well, we all have those stories, but I, like I said, devil's advocate. I can see it being like, because like I said, the whole cultural shift with kind of including women in with the men when in a traditionally all men type deal, there's going to be a little bit of a clash, and like I said, I think we're coming out of it. But like there's guys that genuinely want to be like chivalrous, or they want to make sure that someone else is comfortable, but they don't know how to go about it without it making it sound like they're talking to a child.
That's fine though, but you shouldn't do that just because they are somebody of the opposite sex.
No, I agree.
You can be nice to them too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I agree.
think it comes off in the way of like, oh, like the excuse me, but like, yeah, they're probably just trying to be nice, and like there are a lot of nice people that play, whatever. But we're talking about the jerks here.
Yeah.
But like, somebody doing that just in directing comments like that at only a female, it just makes it seem like they were just like so surprised that you're a girl and you're good at this game. Like, wow. And, no, it's not that impressive. Like, I'm still like a 29-year-old female. It's not like I'm a 3-year-old kid. Be impressed then.
Yeah.
If I was 3 and good at the game, like then you could tell me like, good job. But
yeah. No, I hear ya. No, and I don't want to give the impression that I'm defending these people, but
that's the main difference. Is that
but,
when guys take
like,
shit, it's because of something they're doing or how they're playing or whatever. And if girls take shit, it could be for the same reason. But there's a lot of times when it's also because they're a girl.
Yeah. Well, no, and that's the thing that it comes with the culture clash. I think because I honestly think that there's just a lot of guys out there who just do not know how to handle someone of the opposite sex. They don't. Honestly, they don't. And another factor to consider is that the anonymity of the internet gives a lot of people who normally would not have it. That gives a lot of people confidence to say stupid shit because what I mean. You got a gamer tag to work with, and a gamer tag and like a stupid bio on on their whatever account, and that's basically it. And you know what I mean.
Now I switched my gamer tag to fully pulled out there that I'm female, but it's like more terrifying. Like it.
Don't you have a witch icon? It's like
I have a witch icon, and my gamer tag is Lorena Bobbitt.
Yeah.
And you know how many guys will actually I get more I feel like more positive interactions with dudes if I'm playing online with that gamer tag now than when I ever had an androgynous gamer tag but was on a headset. I don't know.
Hey, real quick, Lauren, do you want your gamer tag on the recording?
Well, you can put it on there because
okay.
It's not spelled like Lorena Bobbitt's name because that one was taken.
Nope, that's okay. I just wanted to make sure I put a note just in case I needed.
Lots of people are into cutting up dicks.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
Throwing them out a window.
Cutting up dicks.
Yeah, it could totally be in there because, like I said,
Okay.
it's spelled
I just wanted to make sure we're
I don't
talking
think anyone
about.
would be able to figure it out if they listen. So,
Okay.
Smashing off the penis and
like,
throwing it out the window.
yeah, and then send me threatening dick pics or something. I don't know.
Threatening.
Threatening dick pics,
Yeah.
huh?
I don't know.
See, this dude's gonna kill you.
They draw angry eyebrows on it.
I gave my dick angry googly eyes.
Wait, why is that weird?
Googly eyes.
JJ.
I don't see the problem here.
1010 would reply and send close friend request.
I'm sorry, Wes.
I don't. You. God damn it! All right.
Broke him.
Did we all answer the guys here? Yeah, we did. Nick, did you answer? If you remember the question, I don't remember.
But I also said like fuck Kathleen Kennedy.
Oh yeah, you did. Yeah. We're not gonna win tonight. We're just not.
I think it's great having, you know, the opposite sex in the nerd community. I think it's fantastic, honestly, because of the whole, you know, they offer different perspectives than what we have on everything nerdy, really, except for Kathleen Kennedy. She said she ruined Star Wars. Come on.
Will you tag her when you post the
I hope she fucking
if we were on Twitter, it'd be easy, but
Here's
I don't.
how angry I am.
Yeah. she'd be like, "What the fuck is this?
What did I do?"
She's like, yeah. No. Star Wars fans are already brutal enough. She probably is living in a cardboard box somewhere. On purpose. On purpose. Sorry, on purpose.
She knows what she did.
Yeah, she knows what she did.
She knows.
No, but you know, I don't really look at a lot of things as separating guys from girls when it comes to interests and whatnot. I mean, yeah, there's some times where I might remark that it's cool or it's interesting or it's maybe even weird that, you know, someone may like something that I like that I wouldn't expect them to, but I mean, you know, to each their own. Who gives a shit, you know? So,
You're not gonna look down on them for it.
yeah, I'm not gonna judge them for it. I mean, I might judge them. I would be more apt to judge someone for not liking something that I like. You know what I mean? So,
yeah.
And you know, I say that kind of facetiously, but yeah, I the whole culture clash, like I said, I keep saying this over and over again, but I feel like we're coming out of it because we're starting to see the mainstreaming of female gamers or female nerds. You know what I mean? Like we had already talked about this before. Mayim Bialik from Big Bang Theory. I again said this before, but had watched a whole thing about her talking about D&D and using it to connect with her two boys, and like that stuff. Like I don't bat an eye. I think it's cool that. I think it's more that she's a celebrity talking about that kind of stuff, because, you know, you learn things about celebrities and you imagine them one way and then they completely surprise you. Like Vin Diesel is into D&D. Let's see who else we got. I'm gonna butcher his name. Like Joe. It's a Manganiello. I don't remember how you say his name. He's in True Blood.
Magniella or whatever.
Yeah, he was in True Blood. He was Alcide. I just saw a picture of him playing fucking D&D, and I was like, good God! I was like, that guy is beautiful. Like, it completely like destroys the stereotype of of a nerd culture when you have someone like that sitting at a table rolling dice. So, it's just, I mean, you know, I am definitely all for respecting differences. But if someone wants to break through those differences and say, you know, fuck you, stereotypes, I'm going to do what I want, like, that is powerful to me too. And I definitely appreciate it. And it should definitely be celebrated. And I don't know where I'm going with this, but I guess what the original question was our perception of girls in the nerdy world. And another thing that we haven't really touched on is that girls, the more people we have interested in this type of stuff, the more they're going to be driving innovation and driving new things to come out and driving new ways for whatever we're into to be presented to us, because when it comes to creating something, like whether it be like a product or a story or a game or something like that, I mean, they're creating it because people want it. If there's girls out there who are saying, no, I want this, and then the developers are taking that into account, like, that's cool, because that it's a win-win for everybody. I don't see any reason why guys would need to bitch about it, because it's just more stuff that we get to enjoy too. I mean, we're not cut off from it. So yeah.
Plus, it gives me hope that I'm not going to die alone.
Exactly. I mean, yeah, and again, we can tie it all back into the stigma of nerd culture that this stuff is becoming more mainstream. It is no longer a social suicide to admit that you like, sci-fi fantasy or anything like that, and it's, I don't know.
Honestly, like, I'm glad that there's like more girls and stuff that are coming out and have the courage to say, "Hey, I'm into this," because I got sick of being the only one.
Yeah.
Because it felt like there was a period of time. Yeah, like a lot of my friends were guys because I didn't know how to talk to other girls my age, because they would be like, "Stickers and ponies and boys online." I'd be like, D&D and video games, and they're like, "What?"
That's funny you say that, because I was talking to Ron about that earlier, and I was like, I don't know how to talk to other females my age still, because I asked if I could hang out with his 13-year-old kid and be friends with her.
And here we go, because if one of us said that, besides Nick, because he's her uncle, but if JJ and I said that, we would be
that'd be a whole different show.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah.
Be Lorena Bobbitt.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But I mean, going off of like what Tracy was saying, that like it's great that now females feel more comfortable like expressing what they're interested in, because there are more females that are in that, So
we don't have to hide in the shadows anymore.
Yeah, kind of leading on, like, I was like wondering if you guys think that that the gals are more accepted in certain subcultures in the nerdy community over others. Like whether it be like video games or RPG, anime, cosplay, live action role playing, and I mean, two main ones that I think that they've always been pretty accepted in are anime.
That depends.
It depends, I feel like, but like generally speaking, more so than the others. But I think the most accepted area of the nerdy community where females have always been, welcomed is cosplay.
Yep.
And that's because they're usually very sexualized.
I was going to say, let me defend myself by saying, like, I didn't mean, like, that depends, like, no, they're not accepted. I think it's, like, an over-sexualized thing where a lot of, like, women will cosplay as, like, these scantily clad, anime characters, which it's fine. Like, I fully support that. If that's what you're going for, like, that's what makes you happy, do it. But, like, the thing is like, that's the reason why they're accepted, is because of the scantily clad cosplay outfits. It's not because they genuinely like the anime as well. It's because,
Because, eye candy.
Exactly. It's their eye candy. And, they should be accepted because we all have the same
the same interests, the same hobbies.
Exactly.
Not because like, oh, you're dressed in
interested in the same thing, but
I hear all the time
about
Yeah, like you hear stories like all the time about girls going to cosplay conventions and getting groped because it was like a big issue for years. You know, they would think, oh, you're scantily clad, it's okay to do this. And girls finally had the courage to say, no, it's not. Like, I haven't experienced it myself, but I've gone to like music concerts and have gotten like crowd surfing. If you're a girl, you would get girls crowd surfing. So I stopped doing it for like the longest time. You know, I mean, that's just an example.
Well, I mean, it makes sense because it's still like, you know, in like that sort, you know, that sort of music scene that's mostly male dominated. I mean, it does happen.
Oh yeah,
kind of like the same treatment as, you know, the nerd community. Like, when are you accepted? Oh, when we can enjoy looking at you, or have the option to touch you. But other times you're not as accepted. Like, as for conversation, you know, people don't want to listen to you. Your views on something, or like, if you like this, like, they usually don't want to listen to you because, oh, you're just a girl. What do you know about it, you know?
And they should be accepted because they're a similar enthusiasm to the same art. You know, that's what they're doing it for, is the art in that particular subject matter. And we should all come together and share that same enthusiasm for all that.
Mm-hmm. You know, and Tracy, you had mentioned crowd surfing, and I think another common theme that I see with that is anonymity. I mean, because when you're in the moment and you're in a crowd, I mean, you know what I mean? Like, I would wonder if, obviously there's guys who would be that bold, but I would wonder face to face if they would try something like that, if they didn't know they could get away with it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, it's always in the crowd because they think, oh, well, they don't know who did it, you know, and it's like, oh, yeah, I know exactly who did it.
It's like, I know someone did it, but yeah.
And then I guess I just kind of get disgusted as well, like, you know, it happens at all cons, I think, but like the bigger ones mainly. I mean, I've seen multiple videos on it. I mean, if you look at YouTube, like, well, there's a bunch of videos, but like guys that just go around and like videotape like girls' butts or girls' boobs, or take pictures of their butts or their boobs like in their costume, instead of just like appreciating, like, yeah, they're dressed like that because that's how the character is dressed, because I mean that's how they were produced. But for
auto tuning.
Oh.
Okay, you pulled out of it.
Okay, pulled out of that one.
Yeah.
But like, instead of
not going there.
Am I back?
No, he's never mind.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah.
No, but oh, I see what you.
There it is.
But yeah, like, you know, cosplay is an art form in itself. It's a lot of work to create those costumes, and what are they being appreciated for, you know?
Yeah.
Right.
You know, and I think there's a little bit of both worlds there. I mean, let's be honest here. You know, none of us are going to turn a blind eye to a good-looking girl scantily clad, but that's not why most of us are into cosplay. I mean, I like seeing how close they can get to how the character looks. And I also, because Janae, my fiance, she is big into makeup. I also have started to tune in more to how people do their makeup, just because it's kind of a way for me to, kind of try and push some of my nerdy shit onto Janae, but I start to appreciate the amount of work that goes into their makeup jobs. You know, and
that's a talent. You know?
Yeah, and I think it's kind of overlooked. But you know, I think makeup and props are two things that are kind of overlooked when it comes to the cosplay community, as far as how much time it goes into. I guess maybe the whole entire ensemble. But,
it's amazing. Yeah.
It is, and it is something to be admired, and it is a shame that.
And
the
damn,
first thing,
furries get a bad rap, but the people, the furries that make their own character costumes,
yeah,
there's some of them are just so phenomenal. It's like, how the fuck did you make molding the mask is so, it's such a process. I don't know. It's really fascinating. I went to a furry panel at.
I'll be honest with you.
Ago, and it was great.
I've never ever looked up anything about furries, so.
Yeah, I know what they are.
Yeah. I know they have a kind of a bad. God, I hate overusing this word, but they have a bad stigma about them. But I don't really know anything about them, so I don't
even know if it's bad. It's just kind of like
really odd. Maybe
looks like what the
like they're in the same level as LARPers.
The big generalization with furries is they're like weird sex furry,
They have orgies in their costumes.
Yeah, that's all they do.
I think that's what I've heard too.
Not that at all. It's like
okay, whatever.
Really cool.
I think another thing that's also helped the cosplay community is nowadays, and I mean I don't know how big it always was, but I can tell you just from the few conventions I've been to here in Kansas City, crossplay is also becoming big.
The gender benders.
I wanted to talk about that too. I love that is happening.
One of the best, and I don't know much about the show, but I mean, I assume you know the character Yu-Gi-Oh.
Yeah.
Pretty defined, crazy hair and all that stuff. One of the best Yu-Gi-Oh cosplays I've ever seen is it's a guy character, but it was a girl that was actually playing as him, and I mean, it's unbelievable how good she did.
Oh yeah.
I saw a female Link from Zelda that was absolutely breathtaking. Just because Link has those very elf-like. He's technically not an elf, but he has those very elf-like features, which are typically somewhat feminine, and she pulled it off perfectly. I wish I could find it. I think it was. It was a female Link, and then there was a male Shadow Link from, I forget which game it was from, but you guys know what I'm talking about?
Well, there is actually a female Link character now.
Is there? Oh, this was a while ago.
Link.
All right, what are we on to now? Did we answer that one?
Yeah, I mean.
Sorry, I keep losing track because we kind of went off on cosplay. I think.
Keep going on tangent. Yeah. I'm sorry.
No, it's all right. I'm just trying to make sure that we answer your question because they're good questions. So.
Oh no, it's just are the females more accepted in certain subcultures?
Oh, certain.
That's why I was saying I think they're most accepted in cosplay than any of the other ones.
I agree.
But maybe for the wrong reason.
Yeah, and I think it's not. I don't think it's a big subculture, but the smart, geeky, nerdy types. I mean, I think they're the bookworm types. They're definitely accepted there, but I think that's a little bit away from the vein that we're going with as far as the cultures that we're talking about. So
yeah,
but I feel like they're accepted there.
I just want to know that, I really want to learn how to play Magic, and
oh yeah.
There's all those there's always events for beginners of Magic, at the that place in Muskegon, and I really want to go, and I'm sure that everyone there would be inviting and awesome, but
yeah,
it's probably my own anxiety stopping me, just thinking that everyone's gonna stare at me and no one will talk to me, and
well, it's because none of them have actually seen it.
Yeah. No, I'll just say this: Magic is fucking hard. The game, I didn't even feel.
It's hard to master, but it's easy to learn.
I don't know. It's just me then, but
I mean, now that I have money, I want to learn how to play it. So.
Yeah.
I feel like if you're good at strategy games, then you're good at Magic.
I'm just not good at.
How Magic is.
I'm not good at cards. It could be the same game, but one of them's a dice version and one of them's a card version. If I know the dice version and I pick up a card, I'm gonna be shit at it. Like, I don't know. Like Nick knows I cannot play card games for shit. I can't. I don't know what to do. Like, I don't know.
We tried teaching him euchre like 10 times.
Yeah, it did. And I live in Michigan, and I've lived in Michigan for the majority of my life, and I cannot play euchre. And I'm just saying it right now. I'm refusing to learn. I don't want to learn.
I don't want to learn either.
Fuck that game.
I've had people try to teach me multiple times, and I don't like it because I don't like that someone like can tell me what to do. I don't like that.
To be fair, I'm like total shit at explaining games.
I don't know. It depends.
So it'll be really great when we do that episode where you guys teach me how to play D&D.
Oh, that'll be different.
Have Nick explain everything.
That'll be different. We'll make it.
There's no good coming from that at all.
We'll make it fun. I already know what we're gonna do for it, but I'm not gonna tell you right now. So.
Oh.
Yeah. So surprise. It'll be fun. Okay. So yeah, those are my thoughts as far as I think we hit on the major ones when it comes to where female nerds fit in most in the different subcultures.
It's always going to come down to the individual and how they feel.
I really can't think of any other area. I think
we're just being really generalized in speaking.
Yep.
I think it doesn't matter with like board games, though. I don't think that's really a gender-dominated area.
No.
Especially not today.
Nope.
No. And well, it's kind of like the next question I have is like kind of leading off of what we were talking about with like, you know, the cosplay costumes being, you know, a little on the skimpy side because that's what the characters are wearing.
Uh-huh.
So I wanted to talk about how you know, marketing teams and production predominantly direct things towards men and sexualize women in the culture. So like I just wanted to talk about that. Like,
yeah, okay.
I had to close my car.
Okay.
But I guess, like, you think, I mean, I think where I was going with this one is more so, like, yeah, now that, like, things are changing in the community, like, more females that are openly interested about this stuff, do you think that the marketing and, like, production, which, I mean, it's changed as well, because you see way more, like, towards females in, like, what, you know, there's females in advertisements playing games and blah, 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 but like, do you think that maybe production has like aided in keeping the lady side silent?
You know, and I can say this as a business major, and it's a very basic way to understand it. But when you're selling a product, you have to take in account what your
target population.
Yeah, what your customer demand is. And I think what we have seen is and for good measure, we have seen a backlash against the over-sexualization recently, I should say. We have seen a backlash against that kind of thing, and I think developers are taking notice. You know, what's the biggest offender I can think of? It's a fighting game. They like spent years developing the engine that would allow for like boobs to bounce right. What am I thinking? Dead or Alive? Is that
Dead or Alive? Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
Street Fighter was one too. They'd bounce back and forth, and you'd see their boobs bounce, and that's an old school one. But that's like the first one that I can remember.
Yeah, and that was just kind of just a side point, but you know what I mean? The reason they did that is because people wanted it. When people no longer want it, then they're going to get shit. And especially in today's age with both the anonymity and the transparency when it comes to business, that being online and connected with your, not only the business, but with your customers, that affords a lot of people a way to influence future products at a greater level, because now the company has more to look at besides just sales. Because now we've covered articles left and right on this show, especially about companies doing stupid shit that people don't like, and they get called out and they get mercilessly fucked because of it. You know what I mean? Yeah. And loot boxes is one of them. But another one, like I've seen, the other one, when it comes to gender, female gamers, there's more of them now. There's a demand for more female characters, and especially at the very least, options.
And realistic ones in their setting.
Yeah, and not always so. I mean, like, I think Battlefield 1, when it came out, there was one game that was supposed to be historically accurate, but they had women soldiers, and it was like,
that's the new one.
Is it the new one? Okay,
yep,
but they're
ridiculous.
But they're kind of
reaction to it.
Yeah, they're kind of going a fantasy direction with that one a little bit, though, aren't they? Like, not.
Well, it's a video game. There were plenty of women who fought in World War II, so it's really not that far fetched.
Yeah.
It's just they're telling a story, and the main character just happens to be a female, and people are flipping out about it. Like, some people are saying, like, my grandfather had fought World War II. This video game about a woman. Like, are you fucking kidding me, dude? Like, shut up.
This is a disgrace to his service.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
It's like, dude, it's fantasy. I get it's supposed to be based on real events.
Yeah. And like I said, from a business standpoint, you want to give your customers what they want, and there is a limit, as we've seen with, especially when it comes to movies, as far as fans demanding something that is completely unreasonable. But but when it, you know what I mean? Like, when you're selling a product, you're selling it to a target market, and you also have to take into account. Nowadays, especially because of technology, you have to take into account what people want and what they don't want. And as a business person, as a marketer, however you want to look at it, you are looking at what people are going to backlash against. I mean, and yes, there are some things that I would say are very overly sensitive, and stuff that is unrealistic and unreasonable demands, but still. The point is that those concerns are being heard. And, I think now, especially, we're going to see a lot more. And we've already talked about the games that have recently come out that have a stronger female lead. Another series that I had just thought of that kind of does it is the newer Assassin's Creed. I think starting with Syndicate, you have both a male and female lead character that they switch between when the story calls for it. And
the new one, you just choose at the beginning whether you want to.
Yeah,
it goes all the way through. They showed a preview with her, and she is a badass.
Oh yeah, yep. And the thing that's nice about it is, aside from little animation differences, like your game experience. And that was just kind of some people's complaint, because they wanted different abilities with the different characters. But as far as like whether you're going to have a harder time with one over the other, they don't make it that way, which is nice, because it shouldn't be that way. If you have a badass, you have a badass. Who cares if it's a male or female? But
and I mean, I feel like they usually do that in video games. So if it's the female lead, like, yeah, she's going to be a badass, because you have to be a badass to be the video game, like,
yeah
it's just more so of like then they usually like make them sexualized to something like, I don't know, can I just ask for it, because there's been so many years of female characters with just like a nice perky rack. Like, would it be bad if we just started asking for like bigger bulges on the male characters and like,
Oh,
you think they'll answer the request?
Actually,
sexualize the men now.
You need to. Yeah, you need to go to. You need to go look up on YouTube Conan Exiles, the character creation for the men. Just, I'll leave it at that.
About that. You're right.
You really just do it. I mean, it's there. but
They all have
not
a
as
good old
widespread. You actually can you can customize your penis. So
Awesome.
yeah, so look it up. It's a good old time. But did anybody else want to weigh in on her question?
One thing that I noticed was like the female characters versus the male characters in video games. Like a lot of times there would be like 2 female characters and like 5 like male characters. And then I noticed a lot of them too, like the women who take more damage, but give out less hit points. And I always thought that was like never fair. Then it's almost like, well, they're making it harder to play a female character, and I think they've gotten better about that now, where they take just as many hit points as the men do.
Yeah.
Which
I feel like
better.
female characters also heal quicker than
I feel like that's situational.
they can heal themselves.
Yeah, I would say it's
depending
situational.
on the character, yeah.
I feel like that's situational. I mean, some games, you have women who are dominating, or female characters who are dominating the protagonists. And I mean, take a look at like Final Fantasy X-2, for example. That's nothing but women in that game. I mean, take a look at Final Fantasy. Was it 13? Is that might be like equal parts men and women, but I think it's situational.
Yeah.
Well, I'm thinking of like older video games that are probably before your guys' time, because I'm older. But yeah.
Back in your
Happy
day.
birthday!
I was like, come on. I know you're engaged to Ethan, but you're nowhere near as old as he is. So.
Right.
You played ping pong.
I know. He would be like, sorry, I can't. There were no females in the games I played, or males, so...
Yeah.
Back in my day, yeah.
You played asteroids.
There was just pixels on the screen.
My Rubik's Cube, I could put a sticker on it, but that was about
You
it.
played Centipede. What kind of gender is that?
this is what he gets for missing the show. Oh, okay.
Hey,
We still managed to pick on him.
Sorry. Reel everybody again. I'm really good at that. I apologize.
That's all right. You know what? Let's go ahead and take another quick break here. We'll throw in that second commercial like always, and then we'll come back and then we'll finish things up. Sound good?
Okay.
All right. We'll be right back. Do you like role-playing games? How about podcasts? How about a podcast about a role-playing game? Check out our friends at Tomorrow's End, a podcast that follows a role-playing group as they navigate through a post-apocalyptic wasteland. All right, enough fucking words. Here's the trailer.
How did humanity get here? I just can't remember. The rest of the world didn't know why the end had come. They'd heard on the radio about an attack on the states by either Russia or China over dwindling resources. What we knew was that the world was going to end, and a crazy man named Morrow had a plan to save the world. Many teams were frozen in vaults deep underground, safely tucked away from all the bombs and nukes flying, and the asteroid that would finally end everything. They were supposed to wake up 25 years later and help pick up the pieces, but something went wrong, and everyone woke up a lot later, if they woke up at all. Cultists, criminals, madmen, they've been living and thriving through the radiation and destruction the entire time. Some good people also survived. They held on to hope by spreading stories. Stories about tomorrow's end.
And we're back again for the last portion of this show. So let's pick up where we left off. What's your next question?
Well, we pretty much have touched on this, and like we all know that it's a thing, but like, you know, progress or lack thereof toward breaking the stigma, lessening as nerd culture becomes more mainstream.
Mm-hmm.
which I think, we're all on the same page that it has, because not just, females in the community, but like the entire nerd culture in itself, like is it's cool to be a nerd now. So it's like accepted. So yeah, I mean, it's great that it's happening. I wish it was like that when I was like a teenager.
Oh, me too.
Yeah.
And when Wes was a teenager, because then he could, be openly nerdy and, talk to girls.
Oh, you know what? Just as a quick story, I think we had talked about it before about what moment kind of made you want to like hide your nerdiness, and I think I knew one. I had a crush on a girl in 7th grade, I believe, and I had.
Oh my god, who was it?
No, yeah, I won't say names on here, but I had been I think that was about the time where I was obsessed with Pokemon, and I had been drawing Pikachus left and right, kind of both practicing and anything like that. Well, anyway, this girl that I had a crush on asks me to draw her one, and I was like, oh my god, this is it. And so I did that, and then at the same time, Nick, Brandon, and I had been talking about doing this like homebrew RPG game where it was kind of like you would like take care of Pokemon. This was like before like the Game Boy games came out and everything like that. Yeah. So we started creating this role playing game. Well, anyway,
you made your own pen and paper like pet raising sim.
Yeah.
No judgment.
No, it didn't get very far, and I'll tell you why.
You made your own paper Tamagotchi.
No, because when I got the picture done, I then asked this girl to if she wanted to play that with us.
Oh boy.
Yeah, and it I got shot down. It wasn't brutal or anything, but it was enough to make me go, I should probably not just do that anymore. So
when you say shot down, did she like actively say no, or did she just laugh uncontrollably?
Actively said no, but not in a harsh way. It was just kind of like an embarrassed, like, I really don't know how to handle you, weirdo type of deal.
Aww.
So
she was like, I really don't know who Pikachu is, but it's cute.
Yeah, that's
for my little brother.
That's pretty much. Yeah, I'm gonna give it to my boyfriend. So I don't know. Yeah, I don't remember.
Think that person grew up to play Pokemon Go or whatever it was, that crazed like phone game that everyone did.
Probably.
Hey man, Pokemon Go is awesome. I still play that shit.
Honestly, I again, I haven't mentioned any names, so I'll go ahead and use the anonymity of the internet to say that my impression of her now is that she's not in a good place. So,
probably not playing Pokemon Go.
Yeah, probably not.
We all just went "oh" and then laughed at the same time at this terrible predicament.
So, yeah, there's
one person listens to the show and she's like, "Oh, wait, Wes totally turned me a Pikachu."
Yeah. It'd be a long stretch, but if you are listening, I'm sorry. I guess I don't know. But,
do you want to play?
It's like now. Do you want to play?
Let me just hit this crack pot real quick.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh god.
Yeah.
Let me warm the spoon.
Nick, you'll know who I'm talking about, but I really prefer not to make it publicly known.
I actually have no fucking.
Well, we're gonna go to the chat.
Well, yeah, but
I want you to like private message me so I can be like, oh.
Yeah. Okay, I will do that. Lauren, what's your question? What's your next one? Where are we at?
I don't know.
What's going on?
Well, basically, I don't have any more questions or like things spring up for discussion. I don't think, it's awesome where things are at now. I guess like I just wanted to, if anyone had any stories they wanted to share, which is when it would be cool if there were more females here, but there's not.
Yeah, we'll probably revisit this topic in some form or another when we have more people. Nick, I sent that to you.
Oh boy.
But and like I still don't know actually. Yeah, I'm probably going to take it out of the blog, so I might as well talk about it here. Only because I don't want it searchable like on the internet where my name is connected.
Okay.
Not like it matters, but because I'm not allowed to work for this company anymore. But
just lay it out. There's no harm in it. I know lots of people who are going to probably agree with you, so go ahead.
No, I don't know. So, like, I kind of have a story that's, like, more recent. It's from when I worked at GameStop in 2014 to 2015.
Okay.
Yeah. And so, my buddy, he's still my friend, love him Jets. He's great. So, he works there. And I got a job there. But I was treated like absolute shit by the other people I worked with. Like, I don't know if, like, they wouldn't train me to do things. It was basically like, hey, Lauren, go put these games on the shelf, like, practice your alphabet. Like, that's pretty much it. And then, and it wasn't just, like, from them, but, like, customers that would come in, like, I would have also, like, dumb reaction or, like, conversations with, like, guys would come in and be like, hey, look, what are you looking for today? And they're like, oh, I don't know. And then they'll go up to the male guy working and they're like, yeah, this new game, what a blah blah blah, asking them the question. And I'm like, I asked you if I could help you, what the fuck? And then the only time they would, like, my coworker would be like, oh, Lauren, can you help this person? It'd be like a mom or a grandma who's coming in to shop for their little girl who plays games. Yeah. And then, like, the mom is asking me, like, oh, what do you think of this game? And I'm like, I don't know, hoity-toity mom. I never played, like, Barbie Raise Your Pony game. Like, I don't play games like that. Like, I feel like she was just assuming that I
get her Mortal Kombat.
Nice yeah,
Grand Theft Auto.
Yeah.
Right, or she like assumes that you have kids or something. So like, oh yeah, my kids play that, and yeah, you don't like actually have any kids to like,
Yeah, I don't know, but they would just always send like the grandmas or like the kids to me, like, oh, Lauren probably knows about the kid games and not about all these ultra cool games.
Yeah, our kids would be playing Resident Evil, not this crap.
Yeah,
I mean, my kids would be.
I think my favorite time was like this. I had to help a mom, and she was like shopping for her son or something. And I was like, "Oh, what kind of games does he like?" And she said like horror video games, and I was like, "Oh fuck yeah, that's like my favorite."
Hell yeah!
Helped her pick out a game, but yeah, I don't know. I was just treated like pretty unfairly there.
This is a big double standard.
I had to like ask multiple times, for them to actually train me on the register because it's like they didn't want me interacting with customers. I don't know. It's really weird. I wouldn't want people to interact with me though either half the
time. And look at you being a manager now.
I know. Yep. I'm great at it sometimes, but I don't know.
Yeah, I
just kind of like it really sucked, and like they would make comments to me like, that, oh, I didn't play this, so, like, just that I'm not as informed or educated on the things, which,
yeah, it's
whatever. But,
yeah, I'm
really annoying.
Cynical.
Oh, sorry.
I'm way too cynical and sarcastic to work customer service anymore.
I'm too much of an asshole.
Well, like people would come into Subway and they would be like, "Oh, is this sandwich really good?" And I'd look at them and go, "Well, I really don't eat Mr. X, so."
Oh, you want fucking Subway?
I was just saying.
People coming in going, "Do you have gluten-free bread?" No, Jesus.
No. Oh, yeah.
Get a salad.
Yeah.
Yeah, get a salad.
Yeah, I wanted to burn that place to the ground, I swear to God.
Yeah,
Food
I don't know.
industry's
I was
the
just
worst.
treated like a poop smudge on the wall, and
That nobody wants to clean up.
If a grandmother came in, they'd be like, "Go ask the poop smudge on the wall."
pretty much, they're like, you could probably find her, I don't know, sitting on the floor trying to alphabetize the fucking cheap-ass Wii games that the kids destroyed.
Poop smudge.
I'm sorry I'm laughing, but the way you're describing it is all I can think about
really
is poop
to
smudge.
go to work,
So,
and then I like would dread going in to work there. But like I know a couple other females that work at GameStop, and they like basically had the same treatment. I don't know what it is, but actually, and then when I moved back to sorry.
No, I was gonna say, like, I've actually seen a lot of people that they didn't treat their workers really good in general. So it may not have just been you. I mean, it's probably everybody there.
Mm-hmm. I mean, like guy friends that worked at GameStop too, and basically, I feel like if you weren't like a key holder, you're kind of treated like you're just a dude.
Yeah.
But when I came back to when I moved out of Kalamazoo and like back here. My buddy Chris, he was working at the GameStop in the mall, and like the manager is actually a female, and she was like weird about wanting to hire another female. But anyway, it was like holiday season, and so she hired me, and then she went to put me in the system, and it was like red flashing screen, like do not hire, like I'm not allowed to work for GameStop ever again.
Oh damn!
And I think it's because I went off a little bit about how I was treated.
How dare you?
At one store, I know. How dare I get mad about?
About them not training you, which is something that's like not your fault. And I mean, I don't think it was you. I think it was a little bit there. But now that we've completely like planned GameStop and we'll never get that sponsorship.
Oh man.
But yeah, so I don't know if anybody has any stories they want to talk about, or we can just end the show. That's fine too.
I'm trying to think. I mean, obviously, none of us here would act that way, and
yeah.
So I don't know. It's kind of like Drew. It's kind of an experience I've never had.
I was there, just like if you've seen anybody act.
Oh yeah,
that way,
I'm trying. Well, not personally. I mean, I've seen plenty of examples like on the internet and everything, and nothing personally, nothing like from my friends group or anybody that I was like grouped up with online or anything like that. I don't know. I don't really like playing online with people I don't know.
Yeah, I don't either.
Right, unless it's something. I mean, JJ knows we played World of Warcraft, and that's a game where you actually get to know people, at least through the game. So you'll get to know people, and I guess that's how it is through most games, but nowadays a lot of the multiplayer is like you match up with some. Yeah, exactly. It's all quick, and you got like half hour to an hour to get to know someone, and most people are like, oh, you're good in this match, I'm gonna throw you a friend request, and then whatever. But I don't know, for the most part, like online gaming, like I never played with my headset on PS4 unless I was in my own group of friends, because I don't like trash talking, and I don't know, it doesn't really affect me. It just makes me kind of uncomfortable, because I was like, what do I say? I just would prefer not to deal with that kind of, I don't know.
People are dicks.
Toxicity, I guess. But yeah, so.
Do people still call people
what? A noob? A noob? I don't know.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Really?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh,
It's not like it used to be now. It's not even so much used as an insult nowadays.
I was gonna say, everyone uses it in their screen names now. So
it's like nerd. Like, while that used to be an insult, now it's just like, oh yeah, I'm totally a nerd. I'm into this stuff. You know, whatever. It's kind of the same thing.
Yeah.
What's the new like gaming insult? Go fuck your
motherfucker.
Mom,
yeah, your mom's a whore.
I say it's pretty.
Now they just pick on the mom.
I'm gonna fuck your mom and be your new dad.
Pretty direct now. I don't know.
And it's usually like a 7-year-old that's saying that to you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ah, son of a bitch!
Yeah. Or he doesn't know how to quite swear yet. Son of a shit.
You're a freaking fuckface boomer!
Yeah.
You're a cock pooper.
Yeah.
Shut up, my mom's in the room. I can't say nothing. Mom, give me a fucking chocolate milk. Meatloaf.
Fuck.
Meatloaf.
All right. Any final thoughts from anybody?
Not going off the rails at all.
Not at all.
Never. That never.
You know, did you see what happened there? I chipped in for the first time in about an hour and instantly derailed. Like, fucking instantly. Snap of the fingers, we are way off topic.
Thanks, Drew. That's what you're here for. Okay. So, I guess, Lauren, any final thoughts from you? You have an idea of how you want to wrap this up?
No, just thanks to the people that are nice to any noob that's gonna play a game, whether you're a female or not, or whatever they want to do that's cool and nerdy, and I don't know, yeah, just like the same shit and talk about it together and enjoy it and have fun, and don't send me creepy messages, please.
Yeah.
Don't be a fucking asshole.
There we go.
Unless it's googly-eyed dick, then I want that.
Do you want googly-eyed dick, or do you want googly-eyed balls with like a dick nose?
I'm anything. As long as there's googly eyes, I don't want like googly eyes asshole though. Just
What
like,
if I'm a really unfortunate person and the googly eyes cover up everything?
well, then I will just enjoy the googly eyes.
Then we'll have to use our imagination.
Oh God! All right.
Well, this will be the first time I've heard that.
Oh, I love you guys. All right, have a good night, everyone. This was fun. We've talked. Jesus Christ. Okay, that's enough.
I'm already sitting there with a cigarette.
What do you mean, isn't it? I'm done. That was it?
You're welcome.
What else did you want to do here?
Oh no!
I'm sorry. Well, did you want to turn?
Hey man, 30 seconds with me includes dinner and a movie. Sorry, my bad.
I don't even know.
All right, good night, everybody. We'll see you. Oh God, we got a couple weeks now, so we'll see you. We'll see you next time.
What's our next show gonna be?
I don't know. Good night.
Bye.